Hi, welcome to Veggy 360. Have you ever wanted to grow your own food but just didn't have enough space to do it? Well, this might be a great option for you. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I planted this GreenStalk Vertical Planter. I just bought this. This is the Inventor's Bundle that has 6 tiers and 36 pockets worth. So you can see in this very small footprint how much food I'm going to be able to grow. Now you can get this planter with a swivel base or with wheels. I chose the one with wheels because I needed to be able to move it around different times of the year to maximize sun exposure. The watering container, so that it will help keep things watered nicely. Now I ordered the Inventor's Bundle so that it would give me maximum flexibility in what I can plant in the planter. It comes with 3 of the more shallow tiers, along with 3 of the original deeper tiers. So on these deeper ones, you're going to be able to plant things like tomatoes, eggplant, and peppers, whereas the more shallow ones, root crops such as carrots, radishes, or your leafy greens, lettuce, spinach, perfect for those. Whoops. So let's fill those trays now. I have now filled all of the tiers with Mel's Mix, which is a mixture of compost, vermiculite, and I'm using a 50-50 blend of peat and coir, or coconut fiber. This is a great mix that I love using in containers because it provides the nutrients that the plants need and holds just a right amount of moisture. Now before I plant, I have pre-moistened it so that this mix will hydrate more readily, otherwise the water will just run right through. Now when you are filling these, be careful not to pack it in because the roots are going to need the air. You don't want them to be compacted. In a previous video, I talk about the key to successful gardening is through proper planning. I've included a link to that video in the description below. Now GreenStalk, actually you can download from their website this plant planner, which is a wonderful way to map out what to plant in each tier, because for the planter that I have, there's 36 pockets to plant out, and I want to plant a mixture of tomatoes, eggplants, and peppers, as well as some leafy greens and some root crops and some flowers to attract the beneficial insects and pollinators. Now if you had just a regular potting mix that doesn't have any fertilizer in it, now would be the time for you to just sprinkle on the fertilizer and mix it in. I have pre-moistened the soil. This isn't as moist as what I normally like to use simply because of this layer is going to be pretty heavy if I fully saturate or if I put more moisture in there. But when I do lightly squeeze, it forms a ball, which means it's got a good hydration level and it should take the moisture up quite nicely. Now what I'm going to be doing is planting 3 dwarf tomato varieties and 3 eggplant varieties on this lower tier. This first one I'm going to plant is dwarf oriole. This is an experimental variety, not yet available to purchase, but it was designed to be extra high level in a cancer fighting compound called lycopene. Gives it the yellow pigment. So what I'm going to do is to gently remove it from the container. I've clipped the lower leaf, and what I'm going to do is to bury it about 1 inch or 2 deep, because that whole area will form root. It'll grow roots. This has a nice root structure right now, but whenever I bury it, this whole section will grow roots. So what I'm going to do is to dig the hole a little bit deeper so that I can get the stem buried to the right level. I'm not going to pack the soil because you want it loose so you get good aeration. And of course, the label so that I can see what it is that I planted. All right, first one done. The next one is the dwarf mocha's cherry. Again, I'm going to clip the lower leaf because you don't want the leaves in contact with the soil because there's always soil-borne diseases. Again, nice root structure. This is a little bit on the dry side. I should have watered it before planting. There's a nice depth there. Yay, second one done. I'm going to be doing a video later on these dwarf tomato varieties. It's really exciting because these are a new class of tomatoes, relatively new class of tomatoes, that stay shorter, more compact, which is perfect for containers such as this. Before I forget, the dwarf mocha's cherry is extra high in anthocyanin. The fruit will be purple, cherry size. This one is sweet scarlet dwarf. This is going to be a medium size red tomato. So I will have yellow, purple, and red. Be a very, very colorful planter. My friend at the Cancer Center says, eat your colors. Well, by golly, we're going to do that with this planter. Okay, that one's done. Now we're ready to plant Listada de Gard, another eggplant variety. This one is going to be a medium-sized variegated eggplant. Again, I'm going to prune the lower leaves off. And like tomatoes, you can actually bury the stem a little bit with eggplant. Not quite as deep. I don't do it quite as deep as I do the tomatoes. But there you go. That one's done. Now we're going to do diamond variety of eggplant. This is also a medium eggplant, but it's a solid purple. Kind of a small Italian style, like a Black Beauty miniature, or smaller version of Black Beauty. Forgot to trim the lower leaves. There we go. And the third one we're going to plant is Ping Tung, which is an Asian variety, long, slender, thrives in the high heat. It has small seeds and a thin skin, which we absolutely love. This is actually my favorite eggplant variety. Nice. Look at, check out the roots. Oh my gosh, this is just great. I'm going to loosely tease this apart. Looks like it was in the container a little bit longer than what I normally like to leave them. Okay, buried that one down a little bit lower. Okay, now we're ready to plant the fifth layer, the next to the bottom. In this layer, I'm going to be putting 3 eggplant and 3 peppers. And the pepper that I'm putting in is King of the North, which is a wonderful thick-walled red bell pepper. Very, very sweet. Just like I did with the eggplant and tomatoes, I cut off the lower leaves and I'm going to bury a little bit of the stem just to give it more rooting surface area. I'll be alternating the eggplant with the peppers so that it makes a nice colorful display. Again, I'm going to tease the roots apart because I left this in a little bit longer than what I was planning on. Again, pruning the lower leaves so that I can plant it in a little bit deeper. So that's how we plant the peppers, eggplant, and tomatoes. Okay, we have the peppers in, and now we're going to put in the herbs. I'm going to do some basil, parsley, and some dill. This particular one is called Blue Spice Basil. It's from Baker Creek. Now basil, having such a small seed, you only want to sow it 1/4 inch deep. I'm going to put several seeds in here. And just lightly pat that in. So that's the basil. Next will be the dill. This, again, 1/4 inch. Now in the pocket, you want 1 dill plant per pocket. But I'm putting a few more seeds just to guarantee good germination. Again, 1/4 inch deep, just lightly pat it in. Parsley also 1/4 inch deep. I'm going to put several seeds in and just lightly press that in, or just lightly cover it up. Make sure I get good contact with the soil. Okay, that layer is done. Now that I've planted seeds in all of the tiers, let's assemble this planter. Between each tier is the drip catcher for the water. The water will trickle down from the level above it, go through these holes and water the individual pockets. So you want to put the disc down, making sure that the holes are lined up so that the water drips directly into the pocket below it. And when you stack the planter, you want to make sure that the feet are aligned properly so that they're sitting directly on the tier below it. It snaps in nicely, it's nice and snug. We'll do the next layer. Now that I have all 36 pockets planted in and I've stacked the planter, we're ready to put the final layer in, or final layer on, which is the water reservoir. You literally just fill the water in, fill the reservoir here with water and let it trickle down. And depending on the temperature, your climate, and how many plants you have planted in, that will dictate how much water you put in. But this is a great way to keep your water, this is a great way to keep your plants watered. If you learned something in today's video, please hit the like button and subscribe so that you won't miss out on any future videos. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye now.